Now we are going to live.
Okay.
You are live now.
Thanks.
Start your show.
Very, very good evening, my dear viewers, my very, very esteemed viewers. I acknowledge, with a sense of gratitude, all of your patronage for being, for playing the seat anchor role for for this particular channel, Education Pe Charcha. My dear viewers, we are very much into the 87th session today, and you all would appreciate that Education Pe Charcha is equivalent to educating the nation. And my dear viewers, this Education Pe Charcha is run under the aegis of Drishti Talks, which is spearheaded by Pramodji. But of course, Education Pe Charcha is an independent channel, and that is the convener of the channel is that is myself, Vivekanad, an author, academician, and public intellectual. My dear viewers, today it is a very, very historic session. And why this particular session happens to be a historic one, it needs a little background. My dear viewers, just in the year 2006, I think 2016 at end, I was very much in Ara. It is a place in Bihar, just for portraying the contemporary Sankaracharya of Puri, that is Swami Nisalanand Saraswati, for my pioneering book in the world on living legends, that is the living legends of Mithila. And indeed, one of the neighbors who was very close to the place where Jagadguru Nisalanand Saraswati Maharaj was putting up, while in course of conducting an inquiry, he just intended to know who Sankaracharya was. I then asked him whether he knew about great Adi Sankaracharya. That man said no. My dear viewers, he was an educated man. I stood gobsmacked by such an observation, as well as it was a revelation to me that how could an educated man in the country can claim to be ignorant about the institution that is the great Adi Sankaracharya, who was the raison d'etre and summum bonum of Bharat Varsha. And then I was really intrigued by the fact that how could India, how could the nation be simply ignorant of the man who was the harbinger of a new dawn for this Bharat Varsha, for India? Because at that point in time, when Sanatan Dharma was very much on decline, it was almost on the verge of extinction, when great monist was born, and he went into, or rather undertook, scholarly debates against Buddhist monks, Buddhist scholars, and Jain scholars, and then went on defeating them, and was instrumental behind the reinstitutionalization of that of Sanatan Dharma. That was the identity of great Adi Sankaracharya. If we, India today, happens to be the land of Sanatanis, all credit should go to the pioneer Sankaracharya, Adi Guru Sankaracharya. And that becomes a matter of a serious concern. I would outright dub it as a humongous concern for the nation if the citizens of this modern, so-called modern India, are oblivious of the name of great Adi Sankaracharya, the non-dualist. We even call it as a monist. My dear viewers, autobiography of a yogi by great Paramahansa Yoganandaji specifically quotes the Western philosophers when the sort of, you can say, observation or the sentence goes in this way. When the Western philosophers chorus, the greatest mind ever born in the mortal body was great Adi Sankaracharya. He was, his paramount observation, which became, you can say, a doctrinaire belief for all the thinkers down the generations, that this world is the manifestation of Brahma, that is consciousness, and there is none other than the consciousness, which is the cause of the manifestation of this universe. And great Sankaracharya, it would become incomplete if I don't quote the century of verses of the great Adi Sankaracharya, wherein he had given the definition and introduction of human being. When he says, Mind nor intellect nor ego feeling, sky nor earth nor metal am I. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. No birth, no death, no caste have I. Father, mother have I none. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. Beyond the flight of fancy, formless am I, permeating the limbs of all life. Bondage I do not fear, for I am free, ever free. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. So this is the great introduction of who we are, who am I. And my dear viewers, since long time I have been looking forward to hosting somebody with a holistic knowledge and holistic work done on the great monist, that is great Adi Sankaracharya. And thankfully, by the grace of divine, I am thankful to our earlier guest on Education Pe Charcha, Dr. Vivekanad MISHRA, who is a great archaeologist of a global repute, to have recommended the name of one of the topmost advocates of the Supreme Court, which happens to be some sort of what you can call it. I wouldn't say a paradox, but indeed it might come as as some sort of a revelation for many, that despite being a stalwart lawyer in Supreme Court, whose hefty fee is 25 lakh rupees per case, he had throughout his life research on great Adi Sankaracharya, having produced 9 books on great monists. And that is why I thought that across the world there could be hardly anybody other than Dr. Advocate Sri Parmeshwarnath MISHRA ji to be gracing and blessing Education Pe Charcha to educate the nation on great Adi Sankaracharya. So without dragging any introduction further, because I've given his adequate introduction barely in few lines, because he is a Pandit Parmeshwarnath MISHRA, the stalwart lawyer of Supreme Court, who is gracing and blessing Education Pe Charcha. My dear viewers, it is since 10 questions, and all questions of huge gravity are going to be asked, are going to be answered by our esteemed guest. So there is not further time. Just as I already said, it is going to be a mere duplication, or rather reiteration of his very, very sunlit introduction. Advocate Dr. Parmeshwarnath MISHRA ji, I add Advocate Pandit or Advocate Dr. Pandit Parmeshwarnath MISHRA ji is one of the lead advocates of the Supreme Court, and a lifelong researcher on great Adi Sankaracharya is a sufficient introduction, although he is an ocean, and mere introduction as I have given you is a droplet from that. But nevertheless, it is sufficient for all of us to gauge and to ascertain the oceanic depth that he embodies or he epitomizes. So I very much welcome you on August platform of Education Pe Charcha. First question goes to you, sir, in this way. You claim to have the honoris causa D.Litt from Cuttack University and Law LLB from Kolkata University before switching over to Supreme Court as one of its preeminent lawyers for over decades. Hence, against this backdrop, what surprises me as well as our viewers is your passionate pursuit of the phenomenon called Adi Sankaracharya as your lifelong devotion. So could you kindly explain this lifelong saga of yours, which appears to be confounding to all of us? Please, sir, we welcome Pandit Dr. Sri Parmeshwarnath MISHRA ji. Your take now, sir.
Thank you very much. About this question, I can only say that we Hindus believe in rebirth. And you can say that when I was born, I had very great admiration at the age of 5-6 years for Adi Sankaracharya as a spiritual leader. I considered him as my guru, as well as also in political field, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and a modern explainer of Vedanta, that is Swami Vivekanad. These 3 were very much influencing in my life. And I can say that so many times Adi Sankaracharya used to come in my dream, and it is very surprise for me that he gave me one two words mantra in my dream and said that it is for your Guru mantra, but I was unable to understand meaning of those two letters. And later on, when I was about 45, then I confronted with Saundarya Lahari and Bhavano Sadan Tripuranusad. Then I came to know meaning of that. That is why you can say that from previous births I have attachment with Adi Shankaracharya. That is why circumstances also compelled me to go near him, because as I was a practitioner in High Court, some person said that you should meet with Shankaracharya ji of Dwarka and Jyotirmठ Swami Swarupanand Saraswati. I said that I have great admiration and respect for the Shankaracharyas. But why I should go there? Because he has large following, he is very busy man, and I'm also engaged in my profession. But he said, no, you should go there. Suddenly, when I met with him, I asked him question that when Adi Shankaracharya was born. He said that about 2,500 years back he was born. I said, but I have come to know that he was born in 788 and he left this world on 1820. Then 820. Then how you can say that he was born 2005 years back? What is the evidence with you? Then he said that you can give evidence. And he took out a book that was named as Matamnaya Mahanusasanam. It was written by Adi Shankaracharya. He read over 2 or 3 verses from that book, and he said that, yes, you look, Adi Shankaracharya has said that my contemporary king is Sudhanva, and Sudhanva king has directed that my 4 disciples should sit on throne, and they should in appearance come as a lord of God, you can say Indra. That is why we used to this Singhasan and other these things. Then I said that I have not come through the name of King Sudhanva. Then how you can say that he was contemporary to Sudhanva? That is why he was 2,500 years back. Then he said that only you can do it. I said I was science graduate and then law graduate. I unable to do it because neither history is my subject nor Sanskrit literature. But he said, no, you can. After that, he used to send so many books to me. Then in the meantime, also I came in contact with Jagadguru Shankaracharya Puri, Swami Nischalanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. He also encouraged me that, yes, Mr. Mishra, only you can do this. Then I started this research work in 1998. This is.
Okay, great, great. So, of course, it's so well and good, my dear viewers. You have just come to know that even during, since his childhood days, he used to have dreams about great Adi Shankaracharya. And our spiritual treasure or spirituality encompasses this sort of belief that, the spiritual gurus, they means deploy the people, they choose their own set of people for getting the work done through them. Autobiography of a yogi of great Paramahansa Yogananda, contains the details pertaining to this particular episode, that how the spiritual gurus, means they ordain or they choose their own people, own disciples to do certain work. So likewise, our distinguished guest was chosen directly by great Adi Shankaracharya. That was why he continued to have dreams since his childhood days, because he was meant for some higher attainments, intellectual attainments. As to what he has done, we'll come to know a little while later. Great, sir. Coming to the very second question, you have already dropped a hint on that. Great constitutional jurist of the country. My dear viewers, it becomes very incumbent on the part to say, because I profusely revere great Nani Palki Bala. So I had the good fortune of reading both of his classics. That is, We the People, We the Nation. And of course, the argument as an amicus curiae in Kesmanand Bharti versus State of Kerala had really rendered me speechless. The quality of erudition showcased by great Naniya Palkibala could not be matched even till date. Sir, now the question comes this way. While Naniya Palkibala in his book, classic of all time, classic book, We the Nation, where he had portrayed the great Adi Sankaracharya as the raison d'etre and summum bonum of Bharat Bharsha, appeared to be vacillating on the on the time span of the great monist. He says either he was born 1200 years ago or 2200 years ago. This apparently has been the controversy even till date. So you claim to have settled this controversy once and for all. Could you kindly enlighten our viewers on this? Please, sir, your take now.
In fact, when I was a student, in our textbook, I also read that Adi Sankaracharya was born in 788 and left this world on 820 AD. This was also my thinking when first time I met with Sankaracharya. I put him question when he said that Sankaracharya was born 2500 years back. My mind was not going to accept it. But since he was Sankaracharya, he said I was not able to controvert before him. But when he said that you can prove it when Sankaracharya was born, then I started my research work. Unfortunately, when I met him in his headquarters, that is Paramahansi, there I put him again. He graciously gave me time of 7 days per day, 3-4 hours. He was discussing with me this subject. He was then one of his personal secretary. So when I said no, so many evidences are produced by Max Muller, K.V. Pathak, and other person, and those evidences shows that Sankaracharya was born in 788, and you says that he was born 2500 years back. Give me some concrete proof from your monastery so that I can proceed with. Then his personal secretary said, no, Sankaracharya is saying and you are controverting. It can't be tolerated by me. Then Sankaracharya Swami Swarupananda Saraswati himself, in very harsh voice, cursed him, disdained him, that he said that you are secretary, stop. Don't talk for this work. He is a scholar. I am talking with him and he is asking question to me. I will have to give reply. If I have no reply, then I will request him to find the evidence and whatever. Then he told me that in my monastery there was one copper plate of King Sudhanva that is dated Yudhishthir Sak Sambat, Yudhishthir era 2631, 2663, 2663 in Yudhishthir era. When we convert it into Christian era, then it comes 475 BC. He said that in that King Sudhanva, that was given by the King Sudhanva to Adi Sankaracharya himself, and there he has mentioned that 4 Sankaracharyas have been established and all these things. That one proof we have, and I also have one book, Bimars, that was written by 73rd Sankaracharya of Dwarka, Rajarajeshwara Sankarashram, and it was published in 1896. In that book, that script of that copper plate has been printed, and also he has said that he has some copper plate of King Sarvajit Varma, Ashok Chandra, and King Mihir Bhoj. 5-6 copper plates have been mentioned in that book. I will give you that book, and I have also my one Guru Parampara that shows that Adi Sankaracharya was born in 2500 years back. And now you can proceed. Then I met with Sankaracharya of Puri. Then he gave Guru Parampara of Puri Mat. That was in that it has been mentioned that when one Sankaracharya took charge and when he left this world, like that presently according to that list he is 145th Sankaracharya, Swami Nischalananda Saraswati. And Swami Swarupanandaji was 78th Sankaracharya of Dwarka. Then he gave me Mathamnaya Mahamsa. When I got, I can say one thing, that in this my research work, Adi Shankaracharya himself was guiding me, and he himself was helping me, because when Shankaracharya of Dwarka said that King Sudharma, I searched so many books but did not find any king named as Sudharma. Then once upon a time I was roaming in book fair of Calcutta. Then I saw one book that was known as Veer Vinod History of Mewar. In that book, a chapter was dedicated for history of Bundi. In that book, name was King Sudharma was given as king of Chauhan dynasty. There it was mentioned that first king of that Chauhan dynasty was King Chaman, and sixth number was King Sudharma, and on 41st number was King Vasudev Chauhan. When I tallied it with numismatics, then I found that Vasudev Chaman's coin was detected by Bhandarkar, historian Bhandarkar, and he has given it that it was Vasudev Chaman was reigning in the year 551. It means 35th descendant of King Sudharma was reigning in 551 AD. Prior to 35th generation was Sudharma. Certainly, then I got some clue that yes, he was a historical person. After that, Chauhan dynasty, early Chauhan dynasty, a book has been written by Dasarath Sharma, great scholar on Chauhan dynasty. He has given date-wise kings after Vasudev Chauhan, and Vasudev Chauhan was 41st, and Prithviraj Chauhan was in 63rd generation of Chauhan. When we find out 550, between 551 and Prithviraj Chauhan left this world in 1192, then some average one. And it was very surprising that when I multiplied number of 35 kings and with average of this 22 kings, then it came to 498 to 468. That was the reigning period of King Sudharma. And after that, but I was thinking some more evidence. Then I came across the historical book of Bundi history that was during the period of Rao Raja Ram Singh. It was written by one great scholar in whose name prize is also being given, Suryamal MISHRA. Suryamal MISHRA has written a history of that Bundi. That has been printed in 9 volumes, very huge, vast book, and there he has given details from Chaman to his period, Rao Raja Ram Singh. In that book, in great detail, Sudharma has been described. How was King Sudharma when he was in very childhood. There was one conflict between the Chalukya king and King Sudharma's father, Veer Dharma, was died in that battle. After that, Sudharma was made king of Mahesmati. He shifted his capital from Indraprastha to Mahesmati, and like that. Then these two evidences came about the King Sudharma and copper plate. This tallied with date of the copper plate as it has been published in the book 1896 by Rajarajeshwar Sankarashram. Then I started to believe that yes, Adi Shankaracharya was certainly born in 2500 years back. After that, one question was puzzling to me because on the basis of few lines, people were saying that Adi Shankaracharya was born in 8th century AD because they say that in his Bhashyas commentaries, he has mentioned name of Kirti, some sentence, and says that this is of Kirti. And in Brihadaranya Bhasya Vartik, his direct disciple Sureshwaracharya has mentioned Kirti by name of Dharma Kirti. Then people said that Dharma Kirti was in 7th century. That is why when Sureshwaracharya and Adi Shankaracharya mentions name of the Dharmakirti, that is why certainly he was after 7th century, and there was no any answer to this question. I was also puzzling that what is answer of this question. Then fortunately I got in 1998 same year or 1999. I got one case for Supreme Court. I came in Supreme Court and there I did a case. A notice was issued. I was very happy. But then I said to my client, I want to have a darshan in Birla Temple. Then I was going to Birla Temple. Prior to Birla Temple, there was Mahabodhi Society. Then some books, one Almira, I saw one Almira, some books were there. I went inside there. Then my eyes stuck to two books, that is Adi Buddha and Buddhacharya. I said him to give me these two books. Then I found those two books. I opened the page. Then when I opened the page of Adi Buddha, I was surprised to know that there prior to Gautam Buddha, name of 6 Buddhas were given, and one of the Buddha was Dharmakirti Buddha. He was born prior to Gautam Buddha. And in Buddhacharya, then I opened the page of Buddhacharya that was written by Mahapandit Rao Sankritya. There he has quoted some from Mahabhagya that Gautam Buddha was telling to his disciple that prior to me, in total 6 Buddhists were in this age of Kali age. One was Kasyap Buddha, Kodagaman Buddha, Kakuchand Buddha. These Buddha are my predecessors. Out of those, 3 had written some books. That is why 3 denomination of Buddhist is surviving, and mine is 4th. Other 3 did not write any Buddha. Then he said that Kodagaman Buddha, Kakuchand Buddha, Kasyap Buddha, and he. But Sikhi Buddha and other Buddha had not written. Then I got proof that yes, it might be that Adi Shankaracharya and Sureshwaracharya has quoted from Dharmakirti Buddha, because as the line of Adi Shankaracharya is time and again is being repeated by subsequent Shankaracharyas and other scholars. It means not that they are repeating modern day Shankaracharya, but they are repeating Adi Shankaracharya's line. Same way, that line was originated from Dharmakirti Buddha, and it was might be that it was also quoted by Dharmakirti of later days. Then this was by the grace of Almighty Adi Shankaracharya. Otherwise, it was not possible for me to trace out these things. After that, iconology of Tibetan Lamaism, I got that book. There were idols of also Dharmakirti Buddha was there, and so many in Sri Lankan books, historical books, I got evidence about Dharmakirti Buddha. Then it became conclusive that yes, there was Dharmakirti Buddha whose line has been quoted. And then I also found that when they say that Dharmakirti, prior to Dharmakirti, there was when we find in history, then we see that there was one Vidyanand. Vidyanand was in 7th century. There was a great sastra with Vidyanand and Akalank, that is historical fact. And Vidyanand has quoted time and again from the Brihadaranyaka Bhasya Vartik lines of Sureshwaracharya. It means if Vidyananda was 7th century, certainly Sureshwaracharya was prior to that. These lines were not end. Then I found that making determining date based on quoting line is not sufficient, because when I went through our Upanishad, then I found so many lines identical in so many Upanishads. One is in Kena Upanishad, same is other Upanishad. Then how we will ascertain that which one was written prior and other was later? Then I said that I should find some such evidences that may be concrete evidence. Then first I should search what is the basis of the scholars who said that Adi Shankaracharya was born in 788. It was very surprising for me And I became very much perturbed when I found that this entire dating was done on the basis of 3 pages, so-called, I am using word so-called 3 pages of imaginary book cited by K.V. Pathak, a high school teacher who was given a prize for his this manipulation of history, and later on he was made professor in a university, a high school teacher, because he said that I saw a books in the house of one Maratha Brahmin, uh, Govind Bhatt Erlekar. I saw there was 3 pages book that was written in a style which is understandable to children. And in 3 pages book, it is written that Adi Shankaracharya was born in 788 AD and he left this world in 820 AD. But I do not have that book. That I have seen that book in the house of Govind Bhatt Erlekar, and from there I have noted it. And he wrote an article in Indian that was published in Indian Antiquary in 1882. In 1882, first time this date 788 and 820 came on the basis of that imaginary book. But everyone started quoting that yes, K.V. Pathak of Belgaum High School has said that there is a book in that exact date is given that Adi Shankaracharya was born in 788, left 820. But it is very surprising for me that so many great scholars, they had title of Mahamahopadhyay. So many scholars were vice chancellor who wrote on Adi Shankaracharya. Everyone quoted that verse and date suggested by K.V. Pathak. None bothered to see what is written in original. When I went with Indian Antiquary, read that article of K.V. Pathak, there he had given so many verses from that 3 pages. Then I found that in that verse it was said that when stating that Adi Shankaracharya was born in 788, it was also stated that Adi Shankaracharya was born Kusmanda Jat. He was Kusmanda Jat, and for explaining Kusmanda Jat, he said that none of the followers of Adi Shankaracharya can accept that he was Kusmanda Jat. But in his book Madimanjari, written by a propounder of dualist theory, Madhvacharya's disciple, there it has been said that he was how he was born. Then I'm telling you, none of the Hindu Sanatana Dharmi can accept it. But we, without going through the text, we accepted there. Kusmandajat means when I went through Skanda Purana and Mahabharata, they have found that Kusmand was a demon and he was killed by Lord Vishnu. And in Madimanjari, it has been written that by that demon raped mother of Adi Shankaracharya, who was widow, and out of that demons, that adulterous activities, Adi Shankaracharya was born. Can any book which is authentic book, which is written by the disciple of Adi Shankaracharya, giving an exact date of Adi Shankaracharya, which will malign birth of Adi Shankaracharya in this way? And also not only Adi Shankaracharya. Later on in next verse, he has written that even Madhvacharya was also son of a demon. It means we have to stalwart our spiritual masters. One Adi Shankaracharya who propounded non-dualistic theory, other Madhvacharya who propounded dualistic theory, and both births was shown as very, you can say, deplorable birth. Then this 3 page was accepted as proof for the birth of Adi Shankaracharya. This was the
Fantastic. My dear viewers, you have seen whatever August guest was just trying to articulate, it gets vindicated that how for centuries, even for millennium, there has been some sort of, some sort of mischief being institutionalized to malign Hinduism, to perpetrate the malicious propaganda, to undermine Hindu race. And that is why great Adi Shankaracharya, who was pioneer of Sanatana Dharma, in as much as when Sanatana Dharma was on the verge of extinction because of the invasion from that of Buddhism as well as Jainism, he insulated Sanatana Dharma from the clutch and jaws of the, you can say the mischief mongers. You can well understand how the conspiracies have been undertaken, have been hatched to undermine Hinduism since, millennium altogether. Of course, Macaulay had come much later, but even before Macaulay, as whatever distinguished guest has just now revealed, it becomes an established fact that Hinduism has not intermittently suffered all sort of, conspiracies. All sort of conspiracies were hatched to undermine, to reflect Hinduism in a very poor light. Thanks a lot, sir. And from the August, from the platform of Education Pe Charcha, we express our deepest gratitude to you on behalf of 1.40 billion, fellow compatriots, that you indeed, your pioneering work in terms of, just stressing all the sort of bogus propaganda, because Goebel had said that if you keep on telling falsehood for, decades together, a time comes when it becomes an unadulterated truth. So this is what you have pinpointed, how the propaganda carried by Mr. Pathak, a very cheap sort of educationist, how it became a gospel truth soon after his passage into his death. It becomes, it becomes crystal clear that how, without much of verification, without much of investigation into the genuine facts, we keep on presuming some sort of, some falsehood as to be the unadulterated truth. This is the habit. This is an inveterate habit which needs to be dislodged, which needs to be given a decent burial. Thanks a lot, sir. Straightway, I'm coming to the next question, sir, because this is the only question which is extenuous to that of Adi Shankaracharya, but it is very much relevant. You are the only lawyer in the country to have been the harbinger for initiating the reconstruction of Ramlala temple in Ayodhya by filing petitions in Allahabad High Court and the Apex Court. If you could kindly elaborate on the same to our viewers, of course in gist, because so many questions have to come. Please, sir.
So for Ram Janmabhoomi dispute is concerned, I can say that I was also, it was destiny to select me because I was practicing in Calcutta High Court and matter was going on in Allahabad High Court. Here I am also telling you that what was the destiny. Then Acharya Kishore Kulal, one retired IPS officer from Bihar. He had made Mahavir temple near about railway station of Patna. He was watching day-to-day proceeding of this Ram Janmabhoomi. And after talking with advocates of Nirmoni Akhada, he came to know that Hindus were going to lose this case. Then he came in Calcutta to Shankaracharya Swarupanand Saraswati's place, and he was doing Chaturmas. It was September 2009 in Calcutta. And there was a meeting of several persons that some big advocates should be appointed so that we can win the case because Hindus are going to lose. Then Shankaracharya Swarupanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj called me. I was in High Court, Calcutta. Then he said that please come at 4:30 to my place because we want to hold a meeting. Then I went there. There was discussion that yes, how we are losing. Then his advocate was one Mr. Then I asked what is the preparation. He said that there is no preparation. Then I said that if I will have to do case, then I will take 3 months time to prepare myself because it is very big case. Then few persons said that you are saying that you will prepare for 3 months and hearing is going on. Muslims' argument has been ended. Hindus' argument has been started. It will end within 1 month. Then you will not got opportunity. Then what you will do after 3 months? Then I said that if it is destiny that I will argue the case, then I will argue the case after 3 months. And otherwise, I am not going to argue as unprepared person. Because I was not engaged in this matter, I do not owe any moral responsibility to argue at this juncture. Matter was going on when it was proceeding. Argument was going to end. At that time, one of the judges, Justice Rafat Alam, all on sudden he was transferred from Lucknow bench, Allahabad, from Allahabad to Jabalpur as Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh. Then bench was broken. Again, new bench was constituted. Again, new hearing started from end of December. And by that time, I had been prepared. I went there. I argued the case. And I argued continuously 24 days from sitting of the court to rising of the court, 10:30 to 4:30. 1 hour was recess in the meantime. Continuous 24 working days, citing about 207 judgments right from 1834 and 135 reference books from Hindus, Muslims, all scriptures, historical books. And it became an instrumentality of winning the Ram Janmabhoomi case. And I can say that, and after when judgment was announced, again Justice Rafat Alam was retransferred to Allahabad High Court as Chief Justice. If he would have not been transferred from Allahabad to Madhya Pradesh, then I would have not been given chance to argue the case, and decision would have been otherwise. Then I can say that in this matter also, Lord Rama had chosen me to argue the case. One strange thing I am also telling you, when I came to argue the case in Supreme Court, there when I started my argument, then present Chief Justice, Justice Chandrachud, he was also one of the judges at that time in this bench. He said that, Mr. Mishra, what is, you prove Ram Janmabhoomi. Where is Ram Janmabhoomi? Can we get any map? What is written in Skand Puran? I said it has been written in Skand Puran, and there is one also map. It has been published in the book written by one Czechoslovakian scholar, and Ayodhya. That book's name is Ayodhya. That was published in 1986. Then he said that then you come with that book tomorrow. I said yes, I will come with that book tomorrow. But fact was that I did not have that book, because that book was deposited in a Lucknow bench, and it was not given back to me. But a strange thing that in 2005, in connection of marriage of my daughter, I had been in Lucknow along with Swami Amuktiswaranand Saraswati. At that time, he was Swamiji. Presently, he is Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Jyotirmठ Badel Kasam. I was with him, and in his car, by his car, I was to go back to Varanasi. When we moved forward, car driver started driving towards the Ayodhya. And after going 30 kilometers, then Swamiji said that, yes, I think it is not towards Varanasi. He is going on some other way. Then I said, ask someone where we are going. Then one person said that you have come towards Faridabad, 30 kilometers from Lucknow. Then I said, it is desire of Almighty Lord Ram. Let us go to Ayodhya. Then we went to Ayodhya. Then one Brahmachari ji came. He was Shruti Brahmachari. He said that there are 158 temples in Ayodhya. Few are present and few have been destroyed, but there are pillars. One Edward was collector. He had established pillar at every place. I said that, do you know about 158 pillars? He said, yes. Then I said, you sit in a car and show me all the pillars. He said that it is in surrounding area of 16 kilometers. I said, you show me. We went there everywhere. Then where was 100 number pillars? There it was a Vivekanad temple. That was like in a well about 6 feet beneath the ground level. That is why it came in my memory. I also took photograph of that. And then I came back. When I was arguing from the book of Ayodhya, that was a Czechoslovakian research scholars book. Then there he said that, yes, their description of what was given in Skanda Puran, that after bathing in Saryu, you should go towards the Janmabhoomi. There is one temple of Pindarak, and from the Pindarak's west, there is Vignesh temple. And then there is from Vigneshwar's in Ishan Kond is Ram Janmabhoomi. But he said that, but there is only one temple present, Vignesh. If Vignesh is Vigneshwar, then this Janmabhoomi is not in Ishan Kond. Ishan Kond means northeast, that is angle northeast direction. Then it is not Ishan Kond, it should be Nairitya Kond, that is southwest. Then either text of Skanda Puran is false, corrupt, or this there somewhere maybe Vigneshwar temple. And then when I was arguing, then it came, it flashed in my mind that Vigneshwar temple is there. That is in Kakarai Bazaar. That is Vigneshwar temple. From there, Janmabhoomi is in Ishan Kond. Then, but book was not with me. Then I rang. But when I was in Ayodhya in 2005, that Brahmachari had told me that there is Ayodhya book. Then I asked Swamiji that you should purchase that book and send me that book. After a few days, Swamiji called me. He said that price of book is 10,000. I said, you purchase it, keep it. When I will come, then I will collect it. After that, when in evening I came back to my residence, I called Swamiji, whether do you have that book? Had you purchased that book? He said, yes, I had purchased it. It might be in my library. He searched it, he got it, and at once he, with that book, sent someone. He came to me, and in early morning he came. He delivered this said book to me, and I went in court. 7 maps were there. When I started arguing, I saw the map, and I also clarified that, my lord, there is 100 numbers pillars on Vigneshwar temple. From there, it is in San Court. That is, was unable to trace that temple, but I had been there in 2005. I have seen, this is photograph, you may verify it with collector. That is the place. And exact impression was that present Chief Justice, Justice Chandrachud was sitting after seeing the map, and in his left side was Justice Syed Abdul Nazir, presently governor. Then he moved towards him and said like this. It means there was a concrete evidence about the Janmabhoomi. We cannot go beyond that. Then we can say this was also Almighty Lord Ram who brought me to Ayodhya, who used to show me that Vigneshwar temple and also arrange book. Everything is this.
Great, great, great. Sir, from this August platform of Education Pe Charcha, we offer you 1,000 salutations on behalf of the fellow compatriots of this republic, because the sort of work that you did, my dear viewers, it becomes absolutely incumbent on my part to quote great Swami Vivekananda, whom Rishi Aurobindo, the greatest mind in post-independence India. This is described by great Nani Palkiwala in We the People, the great constitutional jurist says that Rishi Aurobindo was the greatest mind in the post-independence India. Rishi Aurobindo says, he considered Swami Vivekananda to be the collective consciousness of Bharat Varsha. And Swami Vivekananda says that Lord Ram is the sole force of Bharat Varsha. And see the tragedy, Himalayan tragedy bedeviling Bharat Varsha. Since independence, Sri Ram was forgotten. the photographs of Sri Ram drawn by a great Bengali painter, Sri Nandalal Bose, where almost all the photographs of great Adi Sankaracharya, Lord Sri Krishna, Sri Rama, all were banished from the pages of constitution. See the humongous conspiracy against Hinduism, against Sanatan Dharma, and see the august guest. Almost from nowhere, he sprung surprise, both in terms of unraveling the exact date of the birth of and the tenure of great Adi Sankaracharya, as well as he himself claims to have had the blessings of Lord Sri Ram when he unearthed the exact location of that of Sri Ram by producing the authentic, incontrovertible and indisputable maps before the august bench of Supreme Court, which was presided over by the then judge, today Chief Justice, very educated, very learned Judge Sri Chandrachud. Thanks a lot, sir. Straightway come to the next question. Very important. Pandit Buddhinath Babu, a scholar of high eminence and poet, in course of an interaction with me on Education Pe Charcha, had outright debunked the theory of Adi Sankara visiting Mithila for a scholarly debate with Mandan Mishra, that is Suresa Charji, as it is publicly believed. He says, in fact, he went to Mithila to meet Mandan Mishra to get his Brahma Sutra written by him. This is question 1, comma. And Pandit Buddhinath Babu, outright rejects the prevailing myth of Sri Sankara entering into the physical body of the deceased king to get a feel of married life. As within bracket, as the saga goes, that Bharti, comma, the wife of Mandan Mishra, had asked him a question based on erotica, that is pertaining to marriage. So this is the myth goes. So it is also incorporated in Sankara Digvijaya, which Pandit Buddhinath Babu traces as a sign and symbol of blasphemy. Now the question comes, sir, these two parts, questions in two parts. How could a brahmachari, a celibate, in English we call it celibate, can even remotely imagine of such prima facie violation of sainthood? Your take on the same as an expert researcher on great Adi Sankaracharya, please.
I couldn't understand what you want to know from me.
Sir,
Buddhinath Babu, you wanted to say that chapter which says that there was a Shastrarth between Adi Shankaracharya and Bharati on the question of Kama Sutras and other things, that was not possible. Yes. That is blasphemy.
Blasphemy. He did not go. He says that he did not go for Shastrartha because Mandan Mishra was 80 years old then and he was only 15, 16. So he went for getting Brahma Sutra written by Mandan Mishra. This is what he says. And then he explores the myth which is doing round today.
I'm telling you what.
The king's body.
Yes.
For
Here I want to tell you, because in our country, maybe there are so many persons, great scholars, but they have some prejudices. Because one historian of Mithila, he had given evidence in Ram Janmabhoomi case. He had written the books that he is Brahmin historian. Few days back he died. I will not take his name. Let Almighty place his soul with peace. But he has written that Brahmin used to eat cows' meat and all things. He was very close associate of Mr. Irfan Habib, and he was alumni of that Aligarh Historical Society. Then similar manner people may, but fact is that there was not much more difference between the age of Mandan Mishra and Adi Sankaracharya. At that time, when there was a Shastrarth between Adi Sankaracharya and Mandan Mishra, then Mandan Mishra was about 48 years old. And that is why we cannot say that he was 80 years old. And it is a reality that Shastrat took place between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya. But so far, because I'm not saying that, because on that topic, I have not done great research work elaborately on that topic. But during this research work, what materials I have brought, from that it is, you may take it near to truth, that Shastrat between Adi Shankaracharya and Mandan Mishra was made in Mahishmati, that is presently in Madhya Pradesh, known as Maheshwar or Mandata. There was, because he was is master of, guru of King Sudhanva. Mandan Mishra was guru of King Sudhanva. That is why Shastra, as Mahishmati was capital of King Sudhanva, Shastra took place in presence of King Sudhanva. This has also been written by Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati in his book Satyat Prakash, that 2200 years back, 2200 years back, Shastra took place in Mahishmati in presence of King Sudhanva between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya, and Satyat Prakash's first edition was published in 1875. It means about 1875 means 148 years back. You can more than that, like 900 to 100. Yes. Then it means according to that, it comes about 2,400 years, according to Dayanand in Mahishmati. But fact is also that Bharati gave some time to Adi Shankaracharya when Bharati asked certain question on that is known as Kam Shastra in our language, Vatsayan, Kam Sutra, like that. Then Mandan Mishra stopped his wife. He said, you should not ask these questions to a celibate, because he is not supposed to know all these things. You are doing chal in, you know that in Nyaya Darshan, to win a Shastra, so many things has been given, that chal, prapanch, bitanda, like this. Then he said, this is a chal, in our language we can say fraud. Then you should not ask this type of question. Then she said that, yes, you ask your this disputant. If he says that Kam Shastra is not Shastra, not a scripture, then I will not ask any question. I will accept my defeat. But if he says that it is a scripture, it is a Shastra, then he should argue with me. Then Adi Shankaracharya said, yes, I accept that it is a scripture, and I supposed to know it, but I beg 6 months time from you, and after that, because I cannot do Parkaya Pravesh, Buddhinath Babu cannot do Parkaya Pravesh, that is why we cannot say that Adi Shankaracharya was also unable to do it. Because in our olden days, saints had so many miraculous yogic power, then certainly it was a truth. One thing more I want to add. After that,
I beg you. Actually, Buddhinath Babu's vision was that as a celibate, as a great saint, it was really a blasphemy even to imagine, to go for some sort of, experience in eroticism, in erotic world. This was his version. Please continue.
His version is not correct, because if you will go his commentary, his Bhasha, perhaps Buddhinath Babu, except that Brihadaranyaka Bhasya has been written by Adi Shankaracharya. In there also there is chapter that if any person want to such a kind of son, he should eat such kind of food, he should such kind of, he has also written so many things in Sandhara Lahari about the Sringar Varnan of goddess. In such a word, no one can accept. You cannot say that if he has written like this, one celibate cannot, because he seated on the throne of Sarvagya seat. Sarvagya, omni-knower. He was known as omni-knower. Sarvagya. Sarvagya means he knows everything. And so far I want to clarify. Again, Adi Shankaracharya went in Maisi, that is Mithila, that is in Saharsa district. That was birthplace of Mandan Mishra. Mandan Mishra was born in Maisi. He was from that is presently in Saharsa district, because that 6-month period when ended, then Adi Shankaracharya came back. By that time, Mandan Mishra and his wife was in Mahesi Saharsa, that is his birthplace. He was, you can say, court scholar of and guru of Sudharma. That is why he was living in Mahesmati, as Kalidas was living in Ujjain, and also Madhusudan Ojha was living in Jaipur. Same way, when a scholar rose to that stature, he was invited by the king, he went there. But when he came in Maisi, there Bharati accepted defeat and he made Mandan Mishra his disciple.
Great, great, great. My dear viewers, our distinguished guest has just exploded the myth and he has come up with a revelation. Indeed, his response is a revelation to me as well as revelation to many. Because until now, or until this stage, before he had come up with this revelation, we were under the impression that great Adi Shankaracharya had undertaken a visit to Mithila twice. Once after, just for a debate, and after Bharati had raised a question, then again he went for that experience, again returned, but he has dispelled that particular notion, coming up with his own version. That first time the scholarly debate took place at Maisi in Madhya Pradesh, and the second time Shankaracharya had visited, that is Maisi in Saharsa, for engaging himself in a battle with Mandan Mishra. So this is the clarity that he has lent at this from this august platform, dispelling the previous notion. Thanks a lot, sir, for your expert opinion, because I think that whatever articulation you have just come up with indeed is an unadulterated version of facts. Because all that doing round is based on all sort of gossip, all sort of what you can say that this propaganda or sort of established belief, which has come from generation to generation. But coming from an expert who has done an extensive and exhaustive research into the matter, it should be taken as an established fact. And henceforth, I'm sure that your words of wisdom will will resonate and reverberate across the length and breadth of the country and even across the world. Thanks a lot for such a holistic response and such a concrete and authentic response to my question. I'm straightway coming to the next question, sir. You claim to have edited several books on Adi Shankaracharya. If you could written and edited several books on Adi Shankaracharya, if you could kindly just tell us in gist, showing few books to our viewers also, because they should know that such great books you have penned. Please, sir.
Adi Shankaracharya book, one important book, I am mentioning you one important book here, that is Mathamnaya Mahanusasana. It was written a book, this is book of command. You can say this book can be turned as laws of monasteries, all the 4 monasteries, and I can say that shortest constitution which has been written in the world. In 75 verses, Adi Shankaracharya has written constitution, you can say, of Sanatan Dharma, constitution of Bharatvarsh, or constitution of monastery. This is very, very great book. And there was no English translation on this book. I translated it into English, and this book is here. I translated into English, and I also wrote commentary in English along with translation. And here we will find in this book entire, in short, his nutshell, we can say his act and deeds. Because here he said he established 4 sampradayas, 4 sects. That is Keetwar Sampradaya in Dwarka Math, because he said that person who does not follow injunction of Shastras, they becomes insects. That is why he made 2 types of sannyasis, Tirth and Ashram, so that they should preach the people that you should follow the scriptures, so that you should avoid going in the uh, birth of insects and animals like that. And similar way, he also established one monastery in Govardhan Mutt. There he said that Sampradaya is Bhogwan. It means we are always used to indulge in, you can say, lavishness like this, that which will ruin our life. That is why there he gave two sannyasis. That is, one is Ban, other is Arade. He said that you should keep contact with the people who are living in forest and wood. You should teach them, and also to ask lure people to come in wood and forest, leaving aside lavishness life, and so that they can go, they can be beneficial for the nation and also in other world. Similar, that was Bhogwar Sampradaya. He said he established Bhurivar Sampradaya, that is in Sringeri, and Saraswati Bharati Puri Sannyasis with yoga. But Bhuri means property, wealth. He said that people should not play behind, they should not be for the only wealth, and this wealth should be distributed among people. That is why, to please the people, he established three type of sannyasis there. And other in Jyotirmat Badrikasam, Anandvar, that we should not always be in blaze, that I will take Ananda, I will joy, I will do everything contrary to injunction. People should be taught. That is why there is established three named sannyasis, Parvat, Sagar, and Giri. And also to live in these areas and make contact with peoples. We are living in hills, we are living on mountains, and we are living on the beach of oceans, seas. This type 10 named sannyasi, he established 10 named. 10 named sannyasis were to work for the unification of India. That is, one and Aranya should contact with people who are living in wood and forest, so that they may be connected with the people who are living in village and urban cities. And also he, Parvat, Parvat Giri and Sagar, they should make contact with the people who are living in hills, on mountains, and in coastal areas, so that they may not be felt secluded, and unification of India will remain. And similar way, Saraswati Bharati, Saraswati was to make uniform education system in all over India, and Bharati was to do start with foreign scholars who used to come in India, and to spread their theological things. And Puri was to maintain the great universities in great cities like that. In this way, 10 named sannyasis he established, 4 sects he established, and after that he established, it is very strange that he divided India into 4 rastras. One is northern, that is known as Badrikashram Rashtra. Southern, this is Sringeri, and western, that is Dwarka, and eastern, that is Purushottam, that is known as present Puri. In this way, he said that there will be 4 acharyas, and they will not sit in their monasteries. They will roam all over in their regional areas, and they will teach the people, and who had gone in other religion, they will bring back to them in their own religion. He was the first person who introduced that by under compulsion, who has gone to other religion, prayastis should be described for them, and they should be brought to our religion. It is written in his Matamnaya Mahanusasanam. And he said that what tradition I have established, that should be followed by King of Sudanwa and also successive rulers, and they should spread, they should work for the upliftment and propagation of Sanatan Dharma, because and it is he who said that people neither should curse or disdain or deplore the king nor to Acharya. That is why he gave equal status to king and Acharya. He said that people should also in religious matter, in dharmic matter, they should follow Acharya, and in political matter, they should follow the ruler. He was great person who made religion and dharma separate words like.
Great, sir. My dear viewers, as our distinguished guest was saying, automatically it just reverberated in the mind. Ma kuru dhana jana jauvan garbam harati nimesa kala sarvam maya mayamida makilaga buddha brahma padam tam pravasi viditva. Great stanzas of Bhaj Govindam, where the great monist has conceptualized that how within the fraction of a second all this wealth, property, and all these which attract, which magnetically attract people towards them will vanish into nothingness in no time. Only the name of Govinda is the ultimate objective of mankind, because as and when you leave this particular world, that is this all world, enveloping Maya, you will attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death only through the name of Govinda, which our great esteemed guest has tried to articulate, with so much simplicity, but nevertheless with meticulous details. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, sir. Coming straight away, because we have so many questions, very short time. Very, because time is already over, but we will try to accommodate all these very, very important questions, because this is for humanity. This video is not only for contemporary times, it is for generations together. I have chosen one of the greatest experts in the global arena for representing the views on great Adi Shankaracharya, not based on his theoretical proposition, but which is firmly grounded on the basis of his extensive and exhaustive research. Next question straightway coming to you, sir. Having been a researcher on great Adi Shankaracharya, how do you reconcile between the non-dualism philosophy as propounded by the great monist with that of dualism, which considers creation as sequestered from that of the creator? Your take on this, please.
Adi Shankaracharya, in fact, Adi Shankaracharya has recognized every theory. If, as in our country, we know that Saddarshan, 6 type of philosophies taught, Nyaya, Vaisesik, Puru Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa, all these things are taught in our same way. Adi Shankaracharya said that there are stages of life. If you are in householder's life, or you are in student's life, then for you dualism is necessary, because you cannot realize there are 2 dharma. He said that in Vedas 2 types of dharma has been prescribed. One is pravritti marga, other is nivritti marga. Pravritti marga is actions, path of actions, and nivritti means we can say path of withdrawal, renunciation. Then he said that in beginning you will have to feel that certainly there is one Almighty, because you cannot feel that Aham Brahmasmi, I am Almighty, I am Brahma. You cannot feel sitting in primary school. You cannot think about the thought which can be visualized by a PhD scholar. That is why dualistic theory in Vyavhar, that is in practically dualistic theory is worthy to observe in our life. But we should raise above this, and when there is detachment, we have realized that this world is, you can say, mithya. Here, mithya means not falsehood. Adi Shankaracharya has not said that this word Jagat is false. Mithya means which existence whereof is not eternal, because this world was neither is present. It was it non-existent, because in the beginning of Srishti creation, it was not visible. It came out of the Almighty, and in the middle it is visible. We are here, and at the end of creation, when it means at the time of dissolution, it will also merge in Almighty. It will again become non-existent. He said one thing that was not visible in beginning and not visible in end, only visible in middle. We cannot say that it is truth. We can not say that it is untruth. We cannot say that it is truth and untruth. We are unable to interpret it, and which is not interpretable. For that, he has given word mithya. It means he said that this is a quiz puzzle, no exact word I can give. That is why mithya, this word. That is why when you will realize that this is not eternal, then you should renounce the word. You should now renounce your worldly desire. And now then you should try to realize who you are. You should realize to self. When you will realize the self, then this will be the ideal stage of non-dualism, and then you will become like Almighty. It means Brahma Swarup, you will become like Almighty. You will not become Brahma. When people says that he said, Am Brahmasmi, that is relative word. Am Brahmasmi means I have recognized my true face, that it is like the face. As someone said that his face is like his father. He is acting like his father. He will not Atma Vajayate Putra. Father is, it is said that he is soul of, son is soul of his father. But not he cannot become his own father. That is why it should not be interpreted in such a word that Shankara said that I am Almighty. But I have realized that what is the greater image of Almighty, that is smaller image of myself. I am like Nabhakas and this Navasurya and Jalasurya, which is visible in the sky. That sun is and his image in ocean, that is also sun. But this is light sun. That is image of the sun. Then soul, when you will realize yourself, that then you will become perfect. That is why in Manisha Pachakam he has said that who sees a similar soul in dog, in everyone, like in dog, in man, in animal, he is my spiritual master, maybe Chandal, maybe Brahmin. Everyone, I salute everyone. He said that even Chandal is his guru. If he is Samdarshi, he says that same soul in everyone. That is why Swami Vivekanand had said that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavat bharata, when Sanatan Dharma was on downwards, on declination, at that time again Lord incarnated in the form of Shankaracharya in Deccan, and he again made upliftment of Sanatan Dharma, and he is great Prabhu, Mahaprabhu. He has used the word Mahaprabhu for Adi Shankaracharya.
100% agreed, my dear viewers. We have seen this is unequivocally whatever August just now said. I corroborated. Swami Vivekananda, during his course of his visit to America to address the World Parliament of Religions, after his August address at Columbus Hall, in course of his several speeches, he had of course referred to this, what he said, the reincarnation of God the Almighty, and what he had said, the Brahma, the concept of consciousness. This world is the manifestation of Brahma. Nothing exists apart from Brahma. Brahma, Sarvamai Brahma is the concept of great Adi Shankaracharya, which was propagated by Swami Vivekananda, thousands of years later. Thank you, sir. Still, 3 questions remain, please. Quickly, we'll come to 3 questions. Sir, with the construction of the statue of the great monist, which Honorable Prime Minister has unveiled in the recent years in Badrinath, for the nation and for humanity. I wouldn't say for the nation, because my dear viewers and our esteemed guests, I would like to make it crystal clear here. Mr. Pavan K. Burma, one of the foreign IFS, Indian Foreign Service, and retiree, and the former member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, he had written a book on great Adi Shankaracharya, just giving the particular inscription that greatest thinker of Hinduism. I absolutely negate it. I rebut it. I would like to emphasize on this: the greatest thinkers ever born. Greatest thinkers ever born. That should be the apt description of great monist. Straightway coming to the question, sir. Do you think that the nation and humanity has given their due to the harbinger for re-establishing the glory of Sanatan Dharma? Because if Sanatan Dharma disappears from the face of the earth, there will be apocalypse. There will be, what you can say, the humanity will be extinct. So your take on this, please, sir.
In fact, Sanatan Dharma, there in this world, there is only one Dharma. What are the, you can say, attribute to Dharma has been given. In Vaisheshik Dharma, Darshan, it has been given that from which we can get upliftment in this life. And after that, salvation, that is the Dharma. And that is only in Sanatan Dharma, and all other are the Panth denomination, we can say. They are for a certain types of community or certain types of people. They say that if you will not believe in particular books or in particular person, then you will go in hell. But Sanatan Dharma says that every path is correct that leads to Almighty. You may go through your path. We are not saying that you should adopt my path. That is why you can say Lord Krishna has said in Gita, Swadharmam Nidhanam Sreya Paradharma Bhaya. He said that person should die in his own religion rather adopting religion of other person. Here, not religion, I can say that translation of that may be duty. Because Arjun said that I will beg and I will not kill the people for the sake of this kingdom. Then Lord Krishna said that begging is a dharma of Brahmins, and people will give them respect for begging, but it is not duty of Kshatriya. That is why when you will beg, you will be cursed by the people. Same way we say that this Sanatan Dharma is only Dharma. It gave everyone freedom. If there will be no Sanatan Dharma, then there will be mess in this world. That is why under the patronage of Sanatan Dharma, Adi Shankaracharya reformed all other sects. 72 type of sects were reformed by Adi Shankaracharya. He did not make destruction of those sects, but only purified them and remained them to alive. That is why our concept is, so far as a statue of Adi Shankaracharya is concerned, I can say that this is footstep of King Sudharma. King Sudharma had made 4 statues of Adi Shankaracharya. One survived ages. From that, this picture which we see of Adi Shankaracharya, that is printed on my recently published book, this was found from there. Similar way, present ruler, he is worthy to be congratulated, Narendra Modi. He brought a big statue and established in Badrinath. One thing I want to add, because you will ask me 2 more questions, I will give us one more. After that, I would like to add something about the evidences of age of date of Adi Shankar, because some important evidences which are unimpeccable, that should go to viewers, they are scholars, so that they may think on it.
Okay, great. Sir, coming to the last question, and after that, definitely you will have right. I will give you 4 or 5 minutes to exhibit the evidences, because it is very, very important, rather imperative for the viewers to take a note, to take cognizance of the overall exploits of our distinguished guest. Because Adi Shankaracharya was really priceless. His contribution was priceless for India, priceless for humanity. And any evidence produced authenticating his contribution in whatsoever capacity is all the more welcome. Last question coming to you, sir. How, as a primary researcher on Adi Shankaracharya, you justify the honorific and the sobriquet of the raison d'etre and summum bonum, being conferred upon the great monist by Srinani Palkiwala, the great constitutional jurist, and even by a far lesser mortal like me, because I keep on writing almost in every piece of mine, describing Adi Shankaracharya as the raison d'etre and summum bonum of Bharatvarsha. Now, sir, question comes: should he not instead of Mahatma Gandhi, be justifiably be referred to as the father of the nation? Here there is one question, one twist. Dr. Swapan Das Gupta, a pioneer writer on Hindu nationalism and the former member of Rajya Sabha, in course of one of his speeches, had very justifiably said that India was not born in 1947. And since India was not born in 1947, it would be imprudent on our part to attribute the so-called honorific or sobriquet of father of the nation upon Mahatma Gandhi, because India was born thousands and thousands of years ago, that is since time immemorial. But then there is an evidence to suggest that Sanatan Dharma was re-established and re-institutionalized by great Adi Shankaracharya. And Sanatan Dharma, the progeny of which Hinduism, which still carries on, we all are a part of Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism. So why not Adi Shankaracharya, rather than Mahatma Gandhi, be conferred upon the honorific and the sobriquet of being the father of the nation? Your take on this, please, sir.
You have put very critical question to me, and I have a high and great regard for Nani Panchkiwala and other person. This may be their feeling that Adi Shankara, I respect their feeling that they think that Adi Shankaracharya should be given a conferred title of father of the nation. But I think that it will be derogatory for him because he is considered by us as incarnation of Lord Shankar. Shankara Shankara Vyasa Sakchat Narayana. Adi Shankaracharya is incarnation of Shankar. And it finds place even in Shukla Yajurved, where Ved says that for us, Lord Shankar, Ved says that Namah Kapardine Namah Vyukta Keshaya. Kapardin means who has Jatajut, long hairs, that is Shankar. And Vyukta Keshaya, that's Shankar, who has no hairs. Who is Vyukta Kesh? Mundit Shankar, Adi Shankaracharya, whose place find in Shukla Yajurvedas, and also whose place has been traced by one 13th century's great scholar Atmanand in his Bhashya of Asya Vami Sukta, that is 164th Sukta of first Mandal. There he said that incarnation of Adi Shankaracharya. Because in that one Sukt's commentary, he has used 70 commentaries of other scholars, and there he has proved that Adi Shankaracharya will be born, who will explain the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, because we know that Rig Veda is old. Vyas and Shankaracharya is later on, but everything, we think that everything is written in Veda, that will be repeated. Then he said that Adi Shankar, then great stature Adi Shankar cannot be compared. And so far, father of nation title is Mahatma Gandhi is concerned. That is also misconcept, that it is wrong, because when you will go through the preamble, then it is said that we the people of India. It means people of India, the people who were present at that time, they regarded Gandhiji as father, and people forms nation. Those people who regarded him as fatherly figure, then he said that he is father of nation. Actually, in fact, this word father of nation to Mahatma Gandhiji was given by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in his broadcast from Singapore when Kasturba Gandhi was no more. At that time, he had addressed on radio fighting against Britishers. Then he said that father of the nation, we are your son. You should not be given. You are our fathers. Later on, it was adopted by our people also. That there is some misconception. That is why.
My dear viewers, it was today's was a very, very historic as well as a spectacular session. And I tell you, being an intellectual thinker and a writer, Education Pe Charcha has been my pet project, only to educate the nation. Nowhere I ask or I request my viewers to subscribe the channel. because my purpose is only to educate the nation, only to create the intellectual creations. If you think that indeed as an intellectual I am serving the cause, educational cause of the nation, I am contributing toward the evolution of India as a best guru in terms of knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, in terms of spreading and disseminating knowledge. If you think I am doing justice to that cause, then I leave it upon your wisdom, I leave it upon your discretion to subscribe this channel, to by way of blessing us, because we are for strengthening of our Bharat Barsha. We are for bringing the integration of India with that of its erstwhile, Bharat Barsha, its moorings which lay in Bharat Barsha. My dear viewers, before I invite our august guest, because he wants to make some demonstration, he wants to give some presentation, but pertaining to the scores of evidences that he has collected over decades during all his exhaustive and extensive research. I would just like to make an announcement that our next guest is an IPS officer, Sri Rajendra Ranjan Singh ji, who is going to be our very, very next August guest, that is on coming Saturday. Now it is the time I am inviting our August guest to say something pertaining to demonstrate or exhibit the evidences that he has collected, pertaining to all his research on great humanists for decades together. Please, sir, your take now to demonstrate your evidence.
I thought that some unimpeccable evidence should be given, which is acceptable and which is scientific. Then, first of all, I placed numismatic evidence. In Adi Shankaracharya Madhurya Upanishad commentary has written that soul has four pad. Pad word is given in Sanskrit. He said that pad is not like foot, but pad is, that is, you can say, portion. Then he said like Karshapan, a division, Karshapan. Karshapan was currency. It means Adi Shankaracharya, to interpret the four path of soul, he said that like Karshapan. Then when I went through all the inscription published in 80 volumes by Epigraphia Indica by the Archaeological Survey of India, then I found that Karsapad currency was prevalent in northern India prior to Mauryan period. And in Maurya period, they introduced new currency that was known as Pad Mudra, Pad currency, Pad coins. And but this old currency, Karsapad, was also in prevalence as a Puran Mudra, old currency, old coin. And in the during the period of Sung, it was changed Hiranya, Meya, and Dharan. It means Karshapan was current in our country, northern India, prior to Mauryan age. And in southern India, we find last inscription of Vishwadatta, that is of 2nd century AD, where Karshapan currency had been mentioned. After that, in none of the inscription, Karshapan currency as current currency or coins have been mentioned. It means certainly Adi Shankaracharya, who was writing his commentary for all over India, he was giving example of such thing which was current in all over India. Then this currency, Karshapan, was current in all over India prior to 4th century BC. That is why, because of in excavation, in black polished pots, Karshapans have been found, and carbon dating shows that those pots were of 6th century BC, 5th century BC, like that. This shows that numismatic evidence that Adi Shankaracharya was born sometimes prior to 4th century BC, that is 5th and 6th century BC, that corroborates with his date that is given. After that, archaeological evidences. In his Brahma Sutra Bhasya, Adi Shankaracharya has said that putting one example, that one person named as Devdat cannot be remain at the same time at one point of time also in Patalputra and also in Srub. As in nowadays we can say that I cannot remain on 3rd January at 12 p.m. in Delhi and also Mumbai. That is because this shows that these two cities were very famous, renowned city in the world, India. Everyone was aware about these two cities. That is why he gave example. Excavation of Patalputra was done by famous archaeologist Vivekanad Mishra. Your earlier speaker, Dr. Padikant Mishra's renowned father, Vivekanad Mishra, he excavated Patalputra during period of 1951 to 1955, and also Srubna was excavated by Suraj Bhan during period of 1963 to 65, and again by other scholars during the period of 1993 to 1998. All these excavations unanimously gave report that Patalputra was not in existence during the period as a city during the period from 7th century to 10th century, and also Srubna was not in as existing city from 7th to 10th century AD. This shows excavation evidences. It means when during 700 to 1000 there was no existence of Patalputra and Srubna cities. How was Shankaracharya can mention these two cities? And those reports also said that in 5th, 6th century, this Srubna and Patalputra were as very, very prosperous cities. It means certainly when he mentioned, he wrote Brahmasutra Bhas, this was very prosperous city. It means archaeological evidences also shows that. Now we come on inscription. Then Archaeological Survey of Southern India, a book has been compiled by Robert Seven. That was a British scholar, archaeologist. There he has mentioned that one for Ganga dynasty rulers Tiruvikram. The Tiru is a, we can say Tamil word that is a synonym to Sri Vikram Dev. His one inscription was found of 100 Salivahansat, that is 178 AD. In that inscription, he has mentioned that I had become Jain and Shankaracharya again brought me in Sanatan Dharma. It means he was one Shankaracharya. That has been found very near from the Sringeri monastery. It means Sringeri, one Shankaracharya, was in 2nd century AD in Sringeri, who reconverted King Vikram Dev from Jainism to Hinduism. It means that is that Ganga dynasty. Later on, several Markar, copper plate, and others were found that give subsequent continuous reign of the period. We cannot put them back or bring them forward. Some British scholars like Burgess, Fleet, other tried to manipulate. They said that these copper plates have been fabricated. But later on, what were written in those copper plates also find on stone inscriptions. Then Benjamin Lewis Rice, who was great archaeologist, he said that now Britishers and scholars should be ashamed. They should apologize. Those are genuine copper plates that gave antiquity to the Shankaracharya and other persons. That is why inscriptions also. Then when we go through the history of Nepal, that has been obtained from the you can say rival sources, that is Buddhist sources, that was written by that was translated by Bhagwan Lalji Indarji in you can say 19th century, and there it has been found that during the reign of King Brishdev Varma period has been given Kali Sambat, If it is converted, it comes in 487 BC. In 487 BC, it has been mentioned there, when King Vrisdev Varma died, Adi Shankaracharya went in Nepal. He arrived in Nepal, and his queen was pregnant. Adi Shankaracharya was blessed, and after that, after a few months later, one son was born. In obedience to Adi Shankaracharya, queen named his son as Shankardev Varman. And when Adi Shankaracharya had returned to Puri Mutt, then queen came with his son in Puri, and that is why in record of right of Puri temple it is written, still it is prevalent, it is written that in Puri temple only two persons, Shankaracharyas of Puri, three persons, Shankaracharyas of Puri, king of Puri and king of Nepal, will have right to have darshan with state honor. It means at that time temple will be evacuated and they will stand there alone and they will worship. This shows that connection between Nepal and Shankaracharya. And still when there was Rajshahi, all the Kasturi was being given by those kings. And also in history of Nepal, we find that in 2nd century AD, during the reign of Varadev and the Shankaracharya came in Nepal, went in Nepal, and during 6th century AD, 3rd Shankaracharya went in Nepal. These are mentioned in Nepali histories. Adi Shankaracharya in his Brahma Sutra Bhasya has written about King Purnavarma. Purnavarma was a ruler of Uttarakhand. His name is found in the Gazetteer, Himalayan Gazetteer, that was published in 1882. Himalayan Gazetteer in the two list of Purnavarma name has been found, and Purnavarma was alive when Adi Shankaracharya wrote Brahma Sutra Bhasya. There he has written that King Purnavarma, you cannot say that prior to this King Purnavarma, king was son of a barren lady. That can't be. It means Purnavarma was present. But when he was writing a commentary on Chandogya Upanishad, at that time Purnavarma was no more. That is why there he has written that due to death of very knowledgeable King Purnavarma, this dynasty has become like a death. Then Purnavarma was, I have written in this book, I have written this book giving 408 reference books, relying on 408 reference books. Everyone can see here. And this was the historical King Sudharma I have given you. Sudharma's copper plate, also Chauhan dynasties, several copper plates are available. King Sudharma was 5th century BC. He was contemporary king. That is why so many evidences are there.
Great, sir. You have indubitably and indisputably established the truth. We bow down to you for your extensive research, sir. I'm very, very sorry because we are almost running very short of time. We have already crossed the Lakshman Rekha. It is a time, my dear viewers, to invite Sri Pramodji to quickly sum up today's very, very intellectually electrifying and equally correspondingly scintillating session on education for Charcha. It was a historic interaction based on the illustrious life of great Adi Shankaracharya, who was the raison d'etre and summum bonum of Bharatvarsha. It is for Pramodji now. Pramodji, please.
जी नमस्कार। जी नमस्कार। आपकी आवाज मेरी मैं सुना जा रहा हूँ ठीक से?
जी जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
आप सुन रहा हूँ
प्लीज।
आज के इस चर्चा के संबंध में अपने दर्शकों से इतना ही निवेदन कर सकता हूं कि हमारी ब्रह्मसूत्र के वाक्य में जो अथाथो जिज्ञासा का प्रश्न है, यह सनातन धर्मावलंबियों के लिए बहुत ही महत्व और बहुत ही रचनाकर होता है। जैसा कि सौंदर्य लहरी की भी बात आई, भज गोविंदम की भी बात आई, ये सारी बातें हमारे जीवन में, दैनिक जीवन में प्रस्तुत हैं। आज जितने विस्तार से अपने आदि शंकर के विषय में हमने सुना, और ये बात तो 2021 के 22 के फरवरी में पूज्यपाद शंकराचार्य नित्यानंद सरस्वती का धनबाद आगमन हुआ था। अभी तो रांची में आप पधार रहे हैं, आज भी रांची में ही हैं। तो उस समय उन्होंने भी इस विषय को लेकर के कई लोगों ने चर्चा की थी। तो उन्होंने भी स्पष्ट किया था कि काल गणना के संबंध में जो बातें कही जाती हैं वो अस्पष्ट हैं, और वो जो उनका काल है वो लगभग BC के आसपास की मान्यता है। आज के इस 1.5 घंटे के एपिसोड पर परमादरणीय श्री PN मिश्रा जी, आदरणीय श्री विवेकानंद जी, आप दोनों को साधुवाद है। और आदरणीय मिश्रा जी के द्वारा हमारे पूज्य आराध्य आत्मस्वरूप भगवान राम के मंदिर के प्रति प्रेरणा उनको प्राप्त हुई, और जिस प्रेरणा के कारण आप जो है तो लगातार वहां तक, अयोध्या की नगरी तक पहुंचते रहे। और अयोध्या से इस प्रकार आपने विघ्नेश्वर के टेम्पल से उसको ईशान कोण तक का रेफरेंस अभी निर्वर्तमान अपने मुख्य न्यायाधीश न्यायालयीन परिदृश्य में टिके, यह निश्चय ही स्तुतीय है, वंदनीय है, और बिना ईश्वर की प्रेरणा के संभव नहीं है, जैसा आदरणीय PN मिश्रा जी ने कहा। हम तो केवल एक माध्यम हैं, यह बात सत्य है। लेकिन यह भी सत्य है कि हमारे देवदूत हमारे बीच आते रहे हैं। मैं तो ये मानता हूँ कि आप दोनों महापुरुष हमारे लिए एक पाथेय के रूप में देवदूत ही हैं। जिस काल की कलिमा से घिरा हुआ यह भारतवर्ष जिन दुस्थितियों का स्वप्न देख रहा है आजादी के प्राप्त होने के बाद भी, और चैतन्यता की जो अधोगति है वह ऐसी है कि लोग आपस में ही सत्ता के लिए सर फुड़बॉल कर रहे हैं, वैसे में जो आपने ये प्रकाश की किरण दी है, और वैसे में जो ये सौंदर्य लहरी का की शब्दावलियां हैं, वो निश्चय ही हमारे लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत बनेंगे। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी, दयानंद सरस्वती, महर्षि अरविंद, ऐसे सभी महान ऋषियों के का स्मरण आज के इस 1.5 घंटे के पूरे ऊर्जा से परिपूर्ण इस वार्तालाप में सभी लोगों ने, हम लोगों ने आनंद लिया। आशा करता हूं कि हमारे दर्शक और आदरणीय विवेकानंद जी और आदरणीय PN मिश्रा जी का यह वक्तव्य आने वाले समय के लिए निश्चय ही एक बहुत ही प्रकाश पुंज के तरह कार्य करेगा, और लोग इसको अपनी प्रेरणा का सूत्र मान करके इस शोध के प्रति जिज्ञासा पैदा करेंगे, और इस पर लिखी गई सभी मान्य पुस्तक करेंगे। आज के इस कार्यक्रम के लिए इतना ही। आप सबों को पुनः एक बार प्रणाम, नमस्कार। श्रीमान विवेकानंद जी की ओर आज के इस कार्यक्रम को समाप्त करने के लिए निवेदन करता हूँ।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय प्रमोद जी. My dear viewers, indeed it was a very spectacular session, and I would like to request all of you to view this session not only for the sake of enhancement of knowledge and erudition, but today's session was an erudition personified, because Sri Parmeshwarnath Mishra ji, Dr. Sri Parmeshwarnath Pandit, I would like to add this prefix to his name. Dr. Sri Pandit Parmeshwarnath Mishra ji had enlightened all of us on so many important aspects and dimensions of great Adi Shankaracharya that whoever comes across this video definitely will stand enlightened by the profusion of light being generated by our very august guest from this august platform of Educational Charcha. Once again, we bow to great August, August guest of ours, Dr. Sri MISHRA ji, on behalf of the nation and humanity, because he has done such an extensive and exhaustive work only for humanity. Researching on great Adi Sankaracharya was tantamount to doing good work for humanity. That is why we salute him very reverentially. We salute our esteemed viewers for being an inalienably the part of this august platform of education. We thank Sri Pramod ji, my very, very esteemed brother, for being part and parcel of this important program. Once again, with the announcement of Sri Ranjan Singh ji, an IPS officer, to be our next guest on the 25th of March at the same time, 7 p.m. We return you back to